The 2024 NFL Draft is less than a week away, so of course all the tension and excitement is through the ceiling right now. And obviously to take advantage of that, here's our 7th and last mock draft of 2024, so please sit back and relax as we walk you through. With the first overall pick, the Chicago Bears will get Caleb Williams. This is now pretty much a lock. The interest the Bears having taken the USC quarterback is undeniable, and he's obviously the one with the highest upside of the entire draft class. At number 2, the Commanders get Jayden Daniels. I think it's between him and May, a coin toss which will only show its result on draft night. However, for me, signing Marcus Mariota is a clear indication that they are leaning in Daniels' favor. On to the Patriots, Drake May. A lot of people think they'll probably get JJ McCarthy here, but I just don't see that happening. May is a much better prospect overall, and although he wouldn't be going to the perfect situation, he could still be a solid piece for New England to build around of. At number 4, the Arizona Cardinals get Marvin Harrison Jr. The wide receiver out of Ohio State is undoubtedly a generational talent. He would be a great addition to this offense, and unless the Cardinals get an amazing offer to trade back, I think this pick is pretty much a lock. Moving on, we have a trade. The Chargers got a good package for moving back, which means the Vikings will now be selecting JJ McCarthy 5th overall. Minnesota's offseason moves all point towards trading up in the first round, so I'll back that up. McCarthy may not be statistically great, but he is a proven winner who could very well thrive in a good situation like the one Minnesota has. With the 6th overall pick, the Giants get Malik Nabers. He's an insanely talented receiver and one that you cannot pass on when the position is such a liability for you. Nabers could easily become the team's number 1 wideout right away, so the pick would make a lot of sense to me. Up next, the Titans grab Joe Alt. They could honestly do quite a lot of things with this pick, so this is a very intriguing position for Tennessee. However, I think they'll end up opting to boost their offensive line by drafting the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame here at number 7. On to the Falcons, they get Dallas Turner. This is honestly a match made in heaven and one that I honestly find tough to separate. Turner would be a day 1 starter over in Atlanta, and edge rusher is a relatively big need over there, which means this is a rather good pick for the Falcons. At number 9, the Bears get Rome Odunze. Okay, hear me out. Receiver may not be their biggest need, and there are some good linemen available, but I just don't see them passing on Odunze here. He's such a great receiver who would fit in perfectly, especially since he would be learning under Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, boosting the offense even more for Caleb Williams. On to the Jets, Olu Fashanu. I think they have quite a few options here at number 10, but honestly, protecting Aaron Rodgers is priority number 1. The tackle out of Penn State could be a long-lasting starter over in New York, so I would perfectly understand if they were to take him here. Moving on, the Chargers select Brock Bowers. This guy's skill set is honestly quite the arsenal, and getting him would be such a luxury for the Chargers. He would represent a big weapon for Justin Herbert right away, as well as some protection, which would be amazing for LA. With the 12th overall pick, the Broncos get Bo Nix. There hasn't been that much speculation about the Broncos taking a QB here, but come on, it would surprise nobody. Nix is a proven guy who could be the starter over in Denver since day 1, and getting him at number 12 isn't really that expensive. At number 13, the Raiders get Quinyon Mitchell. I think they're in prime position to go for a corner round 1, so why not go ahead and get Mitchell here? He would be a great scheme fit and such a great addition to that Raiders defense right away. Up next, the Saints get Talia. They really do need some help over in the trenches, and this would help them right away. The tackle out of Oregon State would be a day 1 starter, as he has the potential to be an insanely good lineman in the NFL. With the 15th pick, the Colts get Cooper DeJean. The corner out of Iowa would be an amazing pickup for Indy and a starter right away. DeJean is insanely talented, and he could even become the number 1 cornerback of this class. On to the Seahawks, Jer'Zhan Newton. Them getting him reunited with Devon Witherspoon would be simply amazing. Newton is arguably the best defensive lineman of this class, so getting him here would be huge for Seattle, no doubt about it. At number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Terrion Arnold. They might as well get some help over at the defensive side of the ball. The corner out of Alabama is a really good fit, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised at all if they were to grab him here. Moving on, the Bengals get Byron Murphy. One could argue he's the most talented defensive line of this entire class. Murphy would boost Cincinnati's defense right away, and I think picking him here would honestly be a really good decision for the Bengals. Up next, the LA Rams get Laiatu Latu. His potential is just out of this world, and getting him at 19 could turn out out to be a steal for the Rams. Latu could easily be a solid starter in the league, and if developed correctly, he might as well become a top edge rusher. With the 20th overall pick, the Steelers get Jackson Powers Johnson. This may seem a little high for a center, but the Steelers are desperate to get one, and he would be a starter right away. The guy out of Oregon would be a key piece for this O-line for years to come, so I think picking him here makes a lot of sense. On to the Dolphins, Amarius Mims. This guy has the potential to be even the best tackle of the entire draft class. I think the Dolphins would be more than happy to have him, especially since they don't really have a lot of other positions of need. Now for the Eagles, Nate Wiggins. This would be a dream come true for Philly if it were to happen. Wiggins is probably the most athletic corner of this class, and one that could potentially be a star if developed right and in the correct system. At number 23, the Chargers get Troy Fautanu. I believe that ignoring the offensive line need round 1 would certainly be a mistake. For that reason, I have them taking the Washington tackle here, getting Justin Herbert some much needed protection. With the 24th pick, the Cowboys grab J.C. Latham. There's actually a really good chance he's not even on the board by the time Dallas is on the clock, so if he's available, they've got to get him considering how much talent he has. On to the Packers, Graham Barton. In this specific scenario, I think it's really their only option. Barton could be a starter right away for the Packers, protecting Jordan Love and giving them some flexibility with his style of play. Moving on, the Buccaneers get Jared Verse. The defensive end out of Florida State is insanely talented and such an amazing prospect. I find it hard to believe he'll fall this far, but everything can happen, and in this case, the Bucs would definitely be getting a steal. At number 27, the Cardinals get Chop Robinson. This may be a risky pick, but if it pays off, Arizona would be getting an incredible edge rusher. Robinson's potential is out of this world, but the Cardinals would definitely need to develop him correctly if they don't want him to be a bust. On to the Bills, Adonai Mitchell. As draft night approaches, these two are more and more closely linked, so I'll take my chances. Mitchell would be a great fit for Buffalo, and he would likely take no time to become the team's #1 receiver. With the 29th pick, the Lions select Kool-Aid McKinstry. They have a clear call at corner, and McKinstry is such a great value to get at 29. I think he would start right away, and his potential could easily be exploited over in Detroit for him to become a top tier player. Now for the Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Guyton. This guy has the talent to be a day 1 starter for them, so I could definitely see it happening. The Ravens would massively benefit from giving the reigning MVP Lamar Jackson some more protection, so why not take Guyton here? At number 31, the Niners get Brian Thomas Jr. I'm making this pick with the assumption that they'll trade Brandon Ayuk, which is more than likely. Thomas would cover that hole perfectly, and I think him and Brock Purdy could create a really dangerous connection. And finally for the Chiefs, Jordan Morgan. There were some rumors regarding Morgan to the Chiefs, and I honestly could see it happening. Mahomes needs some extra protection, and the receiver talent in this class is so deep that they could easily address that need much later without an issue. Anyways, that's all for today's video. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.